Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Monday Musings, Danny and Friends SportsWrap. It's brought to you by Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. You can see Dr. Woodle and his fine team at 7 locations all around the Kansas City area. They'll take care of your back, your balky knee, anything you like with a wide variety of services, all the way from regular adjustments to high-tech work as well. My wife and I take good advantage of that on a weekly basis. We love it. Find your ASFCA near you and feel better. Our friend today is David Lesky from Inside the Crown, his fine newsletter. It's free on Monday, so you can check that out and then decide if you want to subscribe. It's a great subscription if you are a very, very big Royals fan, and Royals fans over the weekend didn't quite get what they wanted as the series with the Rangers slips away in the late innings of the final game of the series, but still overall, the Royals are on pace for 92 or 93 wins so far this year. We'll check it all out with David Lesky. We'll go around the baseball world as well as we do on Mondays. We love doing that. I love doing that. I hope you like. I get feedback that people like it. Maybe they're not paying as much attention to other baseball as they usually do, and they can get a quick and handy wrap-up in a few minutes from me. We love doing that, and we will do that. Chiefs rookie minicamp has come and gone, and there's a little bit of buzz because on the first day, Xavier Worthy had some drops on punt returns and pass catches. That probably will be a distant memory unless it starts to happen during the season. But with what happened last year, of course, there's a lot of angst with that. A lot of angst for Sporting Kansas City. It's another one that goes down the drain as they fall, and it's really time to get somewhat concerned about Sporting KC, as they couldn't score, they couldn't win in their road matchup. And the KC Current, they're still unbeaten. They did lose their big national TV CBS audience because of a 4-hour rain delay as CBS switched over to the golf, and not the most compelling golf, to say the least. But anyway, they didn't start playing again until almost 5:30. They got a draw. They haven't lost yet this season, as they continue to be a great story. NBA and NHL playoffs featured a lot of Game 7s over the weekend, and now we're into the second round as well, and the intrigue builds there. That's a lot of fun, and we had photo finishes both here in Kansas at the Kansas Speedway and in Louisville, Kentucky at the Kentucky Derby. And you really needed the photos to test out the photo finish in each one of those cases. Lots of cool stuff going on today. What we started off with an inside look from Inside the Crown. That's the newsletter of David Lesky, who is our friend today and joins us next on Monday Musings, Danny and Friends Sports Wrap, presented by ASFCA.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Always great to catch up with Dr. Brad Woodle of Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Everybody wants to make every year a great one, mentally and physically, and certainly ASFCA can help in that regard.
Chiropractic, acupuncture, physiotherapies. We're going to address the body and the mind to keep you in great shape. With winter moving into spring, we don't want to have the opportunity to get hurt or to be slow and not do what we used to do, right?
Absolutely right, and you can do that in a variety of ways.
We can. We love looking at the body and how it moves, looking at the posture and how it holds us to be strong, to be safe, and really to help us do those things we love to do.
The wide variety and range of services you can get helps in that regard at Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. 7 locations all around the Kansas City area. Find the one that's most convenient for you. And for more information, visit asfca.com/Danny. That's asfca.com/Danny.
Hey Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing, back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business to Kansas City's #1 variety podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyClinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you. Welcome back, and it's time to go inside the crown. That's the title of the newsletter for David Lesky. Free on Mondays like today when he wraps up the weekend and does a wide variety of great things. We're going to talk mostly about the Royals here in 2024 and the guys that are here, but you got a nice chunk of your newsletter today about some prospects and discussions with the scouts. So that's a great deal for Royals fans, and it's great also that it's, they have real winning baseball to think about and not just the farm system.
Yeah, for sure. That's it's a little bit different than the past years, but it's still important because they're obviously this team is never going to carry a $250 million payroll, so they still got to get the prospects up, and the system has been bad over the last few years. I mean, I guess it's not entirely fair. Heading into what 22, I guess it was. They were a top 5 system with Witt and Pasquantino. Well, I guess Pasquantino wasn't really that highly rated, but Prado and Melendez and all them. But it's been pretty rough since then.
Well, it hasn't been rough for the Royals in general, but yesterday was a rough day, and we don't like to make too much of things. But, the game on Friday felt like a big deal. There was a big crowd out there, and they romped in that one, and the fans were into it. And, then they get, bombed on Saturday. That happens. But then yesterday becomes a game that's cool. You're playing the defending champions. It looks like you're going to finish it off. You got your bullpen pieces all lined up. And then it just doesn't happen. They definitely should have tacked on a run when it was important. That was a frustrating loss, even though it's early May.
Yeah, it was. And it's a good, the positive is that there are frustrating losses in early May when in the past, in early May, it was, let's talk about the draft for 3 days
well,
ago.
What the good news is that the Royals definitely were bigger news than Chiefs rookie minicamp this weekend.
Yes.
They definitely were. I don't think
that wasn't the case last year.
No way. No way.
Yeah. So, and it was just one of those games. And like I wrote about, they had their 2 best relievers to pitch the 8th and the 9th with a 2-run lead, and when one of them gave up a run, and it was the run counted, but it was a weak run. It was a bloop double that the Rangers scored with 2 outs. So good on them. Good on them for getting it done. That doesn't mean that they didn't execute, but Schreiber wasn't bad. It was just it happens, and then they had their best RBI guy at the plate with a runner on 3rd and 1 out, and he didn't execute. And then they had their best closer out there, and he didn't execute. It's just one of those things that I really believe you play that game however many times, they lose it 4 or 5. And yesterday was just one of those 4 or 5, and that stinks. That doesn't make it feel any better, but it's just it's baseball.
It is baseball, but they've generally done good in this stretch against done well. That's terrible English. Done well in this stretch against good teams, but overall they have dropped a lot of series against good teams so far. But they haven't been getting swept and they haven't been getting knocked around in these series. But the thing is also there's still too many games where they score 3 runs or less. It's upwards of 20 now, and the fact that they have survived that when they've been near 500 in those games, and the winning percentage through history is .207. So if you score 3 runs or less, so they've done that, but. There's got to be. There's so many good things with the Royals, and Bobby Witts has started to hit again. And I know you had an interesting piece during the week about the fact that all of his power is going to the right side of the field, which I'm going to mention here in a minute, but to the non-pull side. But so what? But again, although the play was butchered in center field, he did get his triple yesterday to center, and so. That's just a minor concern compared to the fact that, Massey's hit a little bit, but boy, the rest of the lineup, except for the guys who have been hot, they've been dreadful. That's the problem. Not just mediocre, they've been bad.
Yeah, it seems like there's been a lot of 0 for 20 something slumps, and I go back to 2013, and you remember May of 2013, they went 8-20, and it's obviously stuck with me to remember that without even having to look it up.
Right.
But that year they won 86 games, and that I'm sure that I thought about this earlier. Maybe I didn't, but it hit me that, okay, if you can minimize the terrible to just bad, all of a sudden, if they, instead of 8-20 that month, if they go 12-16, which is still bad.
Right.
They win 90 games in 2013, and that doesn't make the playoffs. But well, I guess it depends on where those wins come. Maybe they take them away from Cleveland, and they end up. Maybe they make the wild card game in 2013 before 2014 if they can just minimize the terrible and turn it to bad. And that's what we're looking at from these hitters right now. I mean, Nelson Velasquez was 0 for 23 or something. MJ Melendez was 0 for 27. Earlier this year, Maikel Garcia was 0 for 26. And Vinny Pasquantino he's had some ups and downs that I didn't expect we'd see from him, really, because he's just so consistent with his approach and all that. And it's just they're not just bad, like you said. It's terrible. And right now, Maikel Garcia, he had a bad game yesterday, but he's hitting.
Right.
Witt has hit all year.
Mm-hmm.
Pasquantino, when he's been good, has been really good, and he seems to be on the upswing again. And Salvi's two games in a row, so we'll see if that turns into a slump. But he's obviously been great all season long. And yeah, like you said, Massey's picked it up. So 1 through 5, you feel okay about right now. But boy, 6 through 9, I don't know that you can expect to hit in any game right now. And Melendez, maybe he's turning things around. He got 2 hits yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Had a hit on Friday night, but it's a slog at the bottom of that lineup. But I guess that's not fair. Kyle Isbell has actually been hitting much better too. But again, yesterday, 0 for. So there's a theme from yesterday, 0 for. But yeah, they've got to get something going. I don't know. Did you see I had heard this from somebody and was trying like all get out to get an actual report. And then Ken Rosenthal, who's way better than me at everything, went out there and mentioned that the Royals were in on Luis Arraez. Did you see that this morning? Wow.
Well,
yeah. So
well, they didn't get him.
They didn't get him. No, but it's funny, these early May trades.
That's unusual. That is unusual.
It is. And if I'm the Royals, I'm going, okay, well, we're going to start the talks, and then by mid-June it'll pick up. He's a Padre. Okay, great. and that's that. But
well, I mean, I don't think the Royals had unless they were to me, they would have had to trade major league talent, given the prospects that those are pretty good prospects. I mean, they weren't top shelf. I mean, they weren't the number 1 or number 2, but I think they gave up the 5th, the 6th, prospects. So the Royals don't have that in the minors. Well, so I think they would have had. I think they probably would have had to do something like trade Melendez, but I don't know.
Maybe I don't know if they had a package that could have beaten the Padres. The Padres system is not great either anymore. They've had they've made so many trades and graduations that it's
for those who didn't see it, 2 of the prospects got pulled in the middle of a game.
That was crazy. I have
walked off the field together.
And the guy at second base, I can't remember which one it was, but he's going, what did I do? What did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong, buddy. You were so good the Marlins wanted you.
Yes, exactly.
But that tells me more than anything that the Royals, they know, and they're not unaware of the issue. I mean, how could they be? But they wanted to add a bat, and I think that if they are still hanging around at any point over the next, what is it till the trade deadline? 2.5 months, almost 3 months, I guess. If they are hanging around at any point in these next however many weeks it is, there's a chance that you could wake up, or you could get back from your lunch break and see, the Royals traded for a bat, whoever it is. And I think that's encouraging to me that the front office is looking at that and saying, this is not just, I'm so glad that we're doing well, let's hope that the guys can keep it up. It's no, we're doing well, and let's add to it if we can.
Absolutely the case. Let's talk about some of the positives. Even though they lost on Sunday, Daniel Lynch came up, and he was quite good, although he could have got knocked out in the first inning. Yeah. And he was slider reliant, and his fastball isn't great. So I don't think there seems to be at all as much upside as there once was. But I guess we've gotten to the point where if he becomes a contributing major leaguer, that would be a good thing.
Well, look, I mean, think who was the 6th starter last year? It was an opener, pretty much. I mean, they had to go to openers by, I want to say the first one was like April 18th last season. And when you don't have a 6th starter, even, they barely had a 4th or 5th starter last year, but when you don't have a 6th starter, you're in trouble. And you just don't get through a season with 5 starters. We've already seen the Royals have used 7 now with the one Bolin start and the one Lynch start. But that's a really